Testing will begin in 3,
Alright.
2, 1.
Let's volume is very loud for me, so anybody in the chat, feel free to comment on it and I can adjust
Cube
it.
and button-based testing remains an important tool for science.
Yeah, the commentary stream doesn't mean anything really
If cube
for
and
us,
button-based testing
but
cause this
if it annoys other people, I can absolutely change it.
If you feel liquid running down your neck,
shouting at us
relax,
to
lie on your back, and apply immediate pressure to your temples.
welcome to Speedrun Mod.
You are simply
Daniel may have
experiencing a
talked about
rare
this before,
reaction
but
in which the
if this is your
material
first time,
emancipation
then
drill may have
there's Portal
emancipated
2,
the ear
but
tubes
faster.
inside your
This is
head.
a community-made mod made almost entirely by the legend Krzi, or Kerchow. There's like 9 different ways
Because of the technical difficulties we are currently
None of them are correct.
your testing.
All of them are correct.
If the Earth is currently governed by a manner of animal
takes
king,
Portal
sentient
2
cloud,
and
or other
removes
governing body
a
that
lot.
either refuses to
That
or
being
is
the
incapable
intro
of listening
the
to
first level
reason.
that you just saw is for both runners about 15 seconds, and in the base game that would be about 5.5 minutes. So that's a massive time save there.
Yeah, it's just removing a lot of cutscenes and
Some
downtime
emergency
from the
testing
run
may require
that would just
prolonged
bog down a
interaction with
normal
lethal
run.
military androids. Rest
I
assured
think it's
that
more
all
constant
lethal
action.
And also what is personally my favorite part of this mod is the dialogue at the ending lifts, or elevators. You see both of these runners just going into the lift as soon as possible, and usually in the base game you would have to wait for a specific line or a specific word in the dialogue to load in the next level as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there are normally specific points in the elevator where it checks to make sure that dialogue is finished before loading you into the next level. And then now the elevators are just set up to transition basically as soon as they start moving. So there's no need to wait for dialogue triggers or anything like that. Which means they can just go at full pace.
Give us extra gaming time. Or I guess less
This
gaming
is
time.
really good. It looks like Let Us Stray is like at least like he transitioned like 150 or something, so he's like 10 seconds ahead of Alice.
Yeah,
when he went into Future Star.
But no, it's still chapter 1 of the game, and anything can happen really. And from what I've seen of both of these runners, Let Us Stray is a bit more consistent, at least.
He's been playing for a lot longer.
Yeah, definitely. So it's
Alice
more
is
consistent in the tricks. Alice can do basically everything Let Us Stray can as well.
Yeah, the thing about Alice is basically anybody would argue that his skill ceiling is higher than basically any other runner on the scene right now, with like 1 or 2 exceptions. Just because he's so new to the game and he's gotten good so quickly. But Let Us Stray has just been, you know, he's been consistent here forever. Like he's never been like hyper ingrained into Portal 2. Like he does speedruns of all sorts of other games, and he's good at those too. He's just a very good speed gamer.
Actually, you just saw Alice just now entering Wake Up, and if you look at the times, they're about equal, maybe 5 seconds apart-ish. So it seems that the stream is the biggest gap between them.
I could sync them up real quick.
Of course.
Here we are.
But
Incinerator room.
it doesn't seem to be as big of a gap. It's like a couple seconds.
Not that much, particularly. Yeah, it's about 7.
It's about half a map.
Thereabouts.
There it is.
And what you're going to see with actually both of these runners in Incinerator is you can actually start the map falling. You start the map with control, so that means you can slightly skip the first section of this map, make it a bit easier. Whereas in the base game you would have to wait. I think it's 13 seconds, and then you can move.
Yep.
Just minor optimizations for this mod.
Yeah. Normally you start like without any control until you hit the ground, and it's like a 20-second unskippable cutscene. So very nice little quality of life change, which is a lot of what this mod is.
So now we'll both get to see. Well done. Here come
A lot of runners in this tournament having trouble with laser stairs.
It's honestly one of the least consistent maps for the full game.
Yeah, and considering it's so short as well.
There are like little bits of debris over where the cube is that can just completely like change the way it goes through the portal. And it's very frustrating. And there it just looks like Alice missed something, I don't know. But Led Astray is like comfortably like a whole map ahead right now.
Navigating these test chambers faster than I can build
It's
them.
one that he can
So
mess
feel
up.
free to slow down and
It's the first
do
example of a
whatever
reportal in the
it is you
game
do when
where
I'll
you
give you credit.
that was quick.
First,
I guess
first
you
Where
try.
are
you
listening
yeah
to me.
abuse the game
For
trying
the
to push you
record,
out of
you
portals
don't
if you
have
stand inside of them, and you just gain like a 200 like velocity vector like in whatever direction you're headed. So we use that a lot.
This next
So you just
test
reshoot
involves
the portal that
Aperture
you're
Science
leaving.
aerial faceplate.
Oh, Alice
As
is doing a
part of
different
an
route where he
initiative to
gets stuck
investigate
inside of
how
the
well
portal
test subjects can
temporarily
solve
and then does a
problems
bunch of
when they
quick
are catapulted
reportals.
into space.
This is
Results were
a
highly
route that's designed to make
inflammatory. They
this
could
skip a
jump.
little more consistent.
Here's an
I don't like
interesting
it,
fact. You're
if I'm
not
being
breathing
honest.
real air.
Don't think it's very
It's
good.
too expensive.
It's slower, not by
Let's see what the
much,
next test
admittedly,
is.
by like a
Oh,
second or two,
advanced
but
aerial faceplates. Well, have fun soaring through the air without a care in the world. I have to go to the wing that was made entirely of glass
Nice swag
and pick
from
up
Alice.
15 acres of
As
broken
Daniel just said,
glass.
a reportal
I
is where you get
myself-
shoved out at a certain amount of speed, and a
Oh,
super
sorry.
reportal is where
I'm
you
still cleaning out the
stack that
test
speed
chambers,
boost for
so
multiple
sometimes
times.
they're still
yeah,
You're
you get
definitely
Standing
you're gonna
yeah,
see
you
that.
get like
I
stuck
think at
inside of
least
the portal.
3 times throughout this run,
Try to
where you just
avoid
get
the garbage
yoked up
hurtling towards
into
you.
the air
Remember
for
before
seemingly
when I
no
was
reason.
talking about smelly
I
garbage
believe it's like you
standing
get
around
stuck in
being
the
used?
portal bubble, like around the portal. Like you have to
Did
be
you know
pretty
that people with
close,
guilty
but
consciences
not
won't
actually in
easily
the
stop
portal.
you
It's kind of
by
weird
loud
to
noise?
explain it, but it just sort of
I'm sorry, I don't know why that went off.
you
Anyway,
get
back to
stuck,
an
but you're
interesting
technically in a
science fact.
portal,
Every
so you
test
just shoot a
chamber
bunch
is
of
equipped
reportals
with an
until you unstuck
emancipation drill,
yourself,
and it's
or you
a
get
trick
unstuck
so
by the
that
game.
test
Just
subjects
depends on how you're stuck.
You
And
just you just saw
yeah.
you just saw Let Astray do a super reportal in Pit
This
Flings, and
next
you're about to
test
see
involves
Alice
emancipation
do one
drills.
too.
Remember,
that was a
I-
really
I
good
told you
Fizzler
about them in
intro.
the last test area that did not have
Oh yeah,
one.
Fizzler intro. You can, for the first few seconds of the map, you can shoot under where those panels are, and then do the map in about 11 seconds. There is another fast way of doing it where you stand on top of some debris, and again do the map in about 16. So it is faster, but not by that much.
Oh, let's go, Let Astray. He got both
Ooh.
flip shot, which is where you are able to like reshoot a portal slightly early because there's a disconnect between your hitbox and your camera. And then he also like pulled that cube around the glass, which can be really annoying because that cube, if you have bad timing or bad movement when you grab it, it can get stuck behind the glass pretty easily. So a lot of runners don't go for that. We'll see what Alice does here. Ricochet, he'll be going for a fling off of this panel. He'll use this cube as it falls back through the portal to time this panel moving and try and fling off of it. There he goes. Alice,
That's
see,
fine.
Alice does not go to grab a cube when
when
it comes out of the dropper like Let Astray did. That's also a really weird portal placement there. Hopefully that works out for him. Yeah, there it goes. Okay,
It does
cool.
work.
These
knows
bridges
what he's
are
doing.
made from natural light.
I don't know,
The
man.
main
Yeah.
real differences between these two runners are just because Let Astray has been playing for longer. That is really the only reason why he can do that. He's done it
Alice
so
also
often.
learned that. Alice also learned the game through challenge mode, individual level, co-op. So a lot of his time has been spent in co-op or in challenge mode
Oh,
single
Alice missing
player.
the cube.
That's
I can see
unfortunate.
that
It's
then.
a bit of a weird timing for when he dropped it and when he's getting onto the man, he looks like he's getting on a little quick.
But he did get a quite nice backup.
Let Astray going for a reportal here across this gap. He's going to reportal himself when he goes through this portal, shoot under him, and try and grab the cube as it comes out of the dropper. It's not too hard of a trick, but I know a lot of people who have trouble like setting it up. It's weird to describe. Ooh, Alice shot the wrong portal.
Happens.
Bridge intro. That's unfortunate. You hate to see it. That's
That's
happened twice in the two runs that we've commentated. Like the last set of runs we commentated, somebody did that as well. Dane, I think, did it.
One of them.
Yeah, Let Astray playing pretty consistently. I think he is like barely red on his splits,
To maintain a constant
Seems
testing
to be doing
cycle,
pretty
I
good.
simulate day
whereas
at
Alice
all
is just
hours
full
to add
red.
adrenal vapor to your oxygen supply.
He can make up
So
some
you may be
time here with
confused about
a
the
good
passage of
bridge.
time.
Ooh, bridge a gap. Yeah, that was
Oh,
good.
first try. That's very good.
He got the cube on there quickly too, so he saved a good amount of time over Let Astray there, but he's still behind by relatively large gap.
About a map or so.
Yeah. Well, he's on turret intro, then he has laser relays, and then laser chaining,
Oh,
or
really?
not laser chain, turret blocker, which Let Us Stray just finished.
Surprise waiting for you after this next test.
So he's going into the map before the map that Let Us Stray just left. So
Oh,
he's
It
a
involves meeting
bit,
two
bit
people
more than
you
I
haven't
thought.
seen in
Yeah.
a long time.
Let Us Stray is one map away from finishing chapter 3.
And what you're seeing Alice do there, and what you definitely saw Let Us Stray do there now, is called a laser switch glitch. You saw it you saw it I think once before, and you're going to see it again. Maybe once, maybe twice I think. I can't remember. That is where you activate the laser receivers for 1 frame, or maybe 1 or 2 frames, and then the game thinks all of them are activated, so it opens the door.
Yeah. It
But
only
for that-
does checks every once in a while. So, you know, if it's not checking often enough, if it's not checking as often as you're switching where the laser is, and the game's like, oh, both of them are activated, and it lets you through.
I made it all up. Surprise. Oh, come on. If it makes you feel any better, they abandoned you at birth.
Yeah,
So I
Let
very
Us Stray, I think,
seriously
a
doubt
bit of
they
trouble
even
with
want to
those
see you.
cubes there, and actually getting a reportal is quite nice.
Those cubes cause tons of issues.
Yeah, that reportal is really weird because the portal you're coming out is behind you, so you don't. It's entirely timing based. It's nothing visual. It's really weird. It gets it.
Well, you know the old formula. Comedy equals tragedy.
He's
plus
cementing his
comedy.
lead against
And you
Alice right
have
now. He's
been
playing
asleep
pretty
for a
well.
while, so I guess it's actually pretty funny when you
And
There's a very interesting route on this map. This is not one of the. This is everybody in the top like 3 of typical like full game runners. I'm excluding Sushi here. He's come back very recently. He's been playing very well. But like the 3 that you think of who have been playing for like the last little while, Can't Even, Let Us Stray, Betzerner, they all have different routes on this map, or the map that Let Us Stray just left. It's always interesting to see little things like that.
Pretty good. That's right.
that could
The
of course be
facility is
because this
completely
game also features
operational.
challenge mode, which we just shortened to CM,
I've got a
and that
surprise
is
for you
just
after
one
this
level,
next
which has an own
test.
built-in
Not
timer.
a fake
And so
tragic
because it's just
surprise
one
like
level,
last
occasionally
time.
some levels
A
do have a different
real
route for them.
surprise with
Because,
tragic what's going on?
Yeah, when you're
Yep.
restarting one level over and over and over again, you know, you have a lot more room to optimize. And that can mean doing routes that aren't super consistent. Like in a run where you're doing 60 levels.
The irony
So
is you
there
were
are plenty
almost
of
at the
routes
last
that
test.
are used in challenge mode but never in full game. That's why there's a pretty important distinction between challenge mode and full game runners, is because challenge mode runners really just don't have a lot of the same route. Oh, does Alice not
Alice
have
got-
E-bound or
Alice-
something?
Seems like.
It
Yeah, that
happened
happens.
twice.
That happens with me as well. If I move the mouse and no, if I uncrouch and place a portal. Actually, he's going for, I guess, what the CM routes. Like, I think Can't Even and Sushi
Yeah.
both do that route. But you place the cubes in the other order than Let Us Stray did.
Yeah.
Then you have to line them up a bit more accurately than you do otherwise.
I'm indifferent on those routes because I like it. It honestly just depends on which day you ask me. Sometimes I'm like, oh, never do the challenge mode variant, and then sometimes I'm like, yeah, go for it. So I don't know.
So that map is really just runner's preference. What you might actually see now from Let Us Stray, or actually from both of these runners, is now we're in the behind-the-scenes section of Aperture Science, and occasionally, depending on the monitor that you are playing on, sometimes it can be physically too dark for you to see. So actually Let Us Stray doesn't actually appear to do this, but we have
He
allowed
does.
a command. Oh, he does, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But
He just
we
has
have...
a less like egregious form of it. There's like ambient light commands, and so we allow people to customize those. And so certain runners use like 0.1, which just makes like your whole screen white basically. And then other runners use like very, very small fractions. Like I think he's on like 0.005 or something, or 0.05 or something like that. But a very small amount to where it helps people viewing the stream. Because on maps like a Turret Factory, it can just be pitch black, especially on streams with lower bitrate or on people with certain monitors. so it's used quite frequently. I like how people are adapting. Sort of. I don't think it's his route necessarily, but the route that Zype uses on turret sabotage to hit that shot there, I like it a lot. It's not nearly as hard as you might think it is.
It's mainly timing based. It's not really aiming. And actually, led Astray not going for the pancake shots in this. I think.
He got a good
Alice-
turret cycle. Alice definitely does go for the pancake shot.
Yeah,
He also doesn't line it up.
What a gamer. A pancake shot is developed by, found by the lovely, delicious Krizar. Again, that's the creator of this mod as well. And that is a stupidly precise shot where you can shoot through a door. I think it's less than 1 unit. It's definitely less than 1 unit, but I'm not quite sure about the fraction.
It's like 0.4 or something.
It is ridiculously specific. You did also... It's only used twice throughout the entire game. There was one in... I forgot the map, but earlier in Chapter 1.
Secret panel. It's not used in Speedrun mod, because the door's just been removed. So we only really use it in full game runs, but it saves like, I don't know, like 40 seconds if done well. Whereas it saves less time in this map, but it's a lot more consistent and less random than the other route. The old route involved flying off of turrets, which was cool, granted.
Oh,
but,
yeah, it looked cool, but didn't really.
But the issue is like in the normal game, the turrets that spawn, like whether or not they're defective or non-defective, is just random. So you can get really bad cycles that lose you time. And also because it's just physics objects, like you can get it relatively consistent with a setup, but there's always just going to be like a level of inconsistency there. You can see Alice shooting through the door there.
Boom.
He is a comfortable amount behind Led Astray, to where I feel like at this point, barring some big mistake from Led Astray, his plan is probably just to de-rust on this run and then hope to play better on the next run, because I think he just woke up like 25 minutes ago or something. So
again, what a gamer.
For real.
Yeah.
I think
there's certainly a few more unusual maps in the second half of the game. Like Chapter 7, in my opinion, is not fun. What's Astray doing? I was in trouble with the buttons.
he's having trouble with underground, it seems.
Yeah, buttons and a reportal. Very odd. He is red, but not by that much, weirdly.
I wish he wasn't streaming on an alt account so I could check exactly like what his splits look like. But I don't remember his alt account's name. Led Astray doesn't make big mistakes. Millen spitting straight facts. I mean... Oh.
Well, he just missed a reportal, so
Oh, Alice just missed a strafe though on core. You don't even have to strafe, you can just fall. I mean, you can strafe and it becomes like better, like because you get a little bit of a strafe into it.
But yeah, the strafe burst when you're bunny hopping down the tunnel. That's really all it does.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that to not only not get the strafe like to benefit you, but also to not land in the very large hole.
And actually, I do wonder if
he got it.
Hell yeah,
he stuck the button there.
I do wonder if Astray will go for the
I love him.
senior. No, he's not going for Q-clip.
I love it. I love it. We've seen so many people lose like minutes to cube clip and runs because it is just like random. So the fact that he doesn't go for it and he just goes, hey, you know, I stuck that button first try. I'm saving time over Alice unless Alice gets just as lucky as I did. I'm just gonna take that and I'm just gonna do the route that's like 4 seconds slower, and I'm not gonna risk like messing up the cube clip like 40 times and losing like a minute and a half, which we saw in the races between Danes and Era.
It's actually possible to do the same button stuck on the second button, but that is a bit weirder because you don't have any sort of ledge to jump off of. It is possible, yes, but like it's like only CM viable.
Yeah, it's not the same button stick. That's what makes it so weird, is it actually works differently. There is actually a lineup that Kurziao, Kachow, whatever you want to call him, came up with that's relatively consistent. But a lot of runners haven't switched over to doing that. Let Astray and Alice actually both do Crazy Box stuck launch,
Yeah.
which for a long time it was basically just Can't Even who did it in runs, because the strafe to get up there is pretty difficult, but Let Astray pulls it off really well. I've seen Alice make mistakes on it in the past, so let's hope he doesn't. He actually goes for a lineup to get this button stick. We'll see how it goes for him.
That's a first try.
Yeah. But I'm not sure how
And
much time
he's
that
going for
actually...
Q-Clip. Oh, what a gamer. He's going for Q-Clip.
See how fast... That looked like a
Come
good...
on.
Yeah, there it is.
First try. That is honestly the best we have seen in this entire race.
Oh, he's also going for the lineup.
Also going for the stepdad. Yes, that is what it's called. Don't ask me why.
I mean, this isn't called stepdad specifically, because you're not actually
I call it.
stepdadding. Yeah. This is the lineup to
Yeah.
get the... Oh. This is not a good... His lineup is not good here. For whatever reason. There it is. Okay.
Cool. That's what I was talking about with sticking the second button. If you get a first try, it can save a load of time because you don't need to get that cube.
He probably broke even, if I had to guess. Maybe he saved he could have saved like a second potentially, but
Yeah, thereabouts. It does take weirdly long to get that cube. Anyway, you're going to see Led Astray on the left do a big yeet, as I call it. I have no idea what that trick is actually called. But basically, you go through the portal and you scroll really, really hard. By the way, we have the jump input bent to scroll wheel so that we can bunny hop a lot easier. So that we can bunny hop full stop. And then if you're going through the portal with bouncy gel below you, you just fly.
yeah, I think
That's
it's a misconception that you have to scroll really hard for that. Because I've talked to runners who have had trouble with it, and almost always the reason they have trouble with it is that they're scrolling way too much. Like, it's not as aggressive as you might think. You still do have to scroll, but it's definitely not like ridiculous. Oh, Alice has so much trouble with this Crazy Box stuck launch every single run. I wish he wouldn't do it. He has no gel again. He does this every single run. It's actually like ridiculous. He like completely lost one run to this trick. I mean, he was gonna lose this race regardless, but like, it would have been nice for him to not go for it. But wishful thinking. He's already so far behind. There's no point in not going for it, I guess.
One more thing about Led Astray, he did not do the lemon skip. That's been found a few weeks ago. That is again a super reportal in this level that's skips the Cave Johnson dialogue about lemons, so the best part of the game. I think I've made that joke like 3 times anyway.
Assuming you do it well, it saves like 2 seconds in Speedrun Mod. And doing it well, it's a super precise like coordinate lineup, so doing it quickly is kind of more luck than anything else. So I don't like the idea of going for it in Speedrun Mod. It makes no sense not to go for it in full game, because of how slow the elevator is up to the second part of the map. But it's just so fast in Speedrun Mod, there's no reason not to. He's not having a great 3 gels here. He's had a bunch of issues with both the stuck and with navigating the walls here at the end. Which, this is just more of an indication of the fact that he probably won't PB, and not so much an indication that he won't beat Alice, because Alice is like a chapter behind. He's on the first map of Chapter 7. Led Astray's leaving the last map of Chapter 7. There are 4 maps, 2 of them are short, 2 of them are quite long, so this is a very good omen for how the rest of this game will go for Led Astray.
Yeah, so definitely this first run is going to be Astray's going to win, but the next one, maybe even next 2, probably not. Definitely the next race is going to be a lot tighter, because Alice is kind of just doing a D-Rust for this first one. Oh, Daniel, can you just quickly explain cube throw here?
No, I'm eating.
Oh. I had a joke lined up. Basically, you throw the cube, and it lands on the button. Done. In the fill game, you would actually get a dialogue from Wheatley. That would be, I think, about 20 seconds. But there's a mod, so we just skip that entirely. So in this mod, that cube throw only saves like 1.5.
Nothing.
If
All
that.
Can't blame me for trying. Okay, new
Definitely go
tests,
for it in fill game.
Tests. Gotta be some tests around here.
He's going for it.
Yo, Alice going for lemon skip.
Goes to disable the
It's all
trigger
right,
there.
everything's good, I just invented some
Lines up with a very precise spot on the floor.
Look at the word
Re-aims
test
his
there
portal.
on the wall,
Looks at a
that's
very
brand new.
precise spot on the wall. Walks into the portal. Gets stuck. Chains like, I don't know, like 20 reportals or something. There it is. Led astray.
Oh, wow.
Just got the first funnel
Well
fly of the
done.
game.
Seriously, both of
Anybody
you.
who's
What-
unaware,
what-
funnel fly. It's just abusing like crouch hitboxes, being different from normal hitboxes, and the way that funnels check if you're in them or not, or how many of them you're in, and you just trick the game into thinking that you're just always in a funnel. And we abuse that heavily throughout the last
Oh,
few chapters.
yes.
Less so in
Well
speedrun mod than in normal full game, but it's still a good amount. So you'll see him preserving that between level loads.
The only major difference is in chapter 9, I do believe, because the first map, actually the last map, chapter 8, we would keep funnel fly into chapter 9.
We get
the
rid of
mod.
it earlier in laser platform as well.
Oh.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
yeah, there as well.
unfortunate. He
There's a
hit the
funnels.
button. He got the dialogue for having hit the button, but didn't actually hit it. So
Hate to see it
unfortunate for him.
happen.
Wow, I can't believe Alice recovered that 2 bounce there. That was sketchy.
Man.
Alright, so that last test
Yeah, you can
was
see the
seriously
let us spray screen.
disappointing.
The reason we have funnel fly is so that we can clear this level in about
If I'm such a
16
moron, Why
seconds.
can't you solve a simple
Yeah.
test?
Burger 40 said, "Imagine if there were funnels as early as chapter 3. That would be unfun."
Ooh, I think that would be
Although-
really fun.
Although a former community member did at one point almost entirely route the game, assuming that you had to keep funnel fly for the entirety of it. So
That sounds fun, I want to try that.
Oh, what was that? There was nothing. There was nothing.
it does
yes,
not sound fun to me. It sounds very annoying. But
Whatever, that's just you.
I
Let
mean,
us
you're
try
not wrong.
doing a portal cut where you can
Just moving the old test chamber a little bit
you can shoot that
closer
grate at
to
a
me.
reasonably precise angle, but not as difficult as you may think, and then
Bring it
just
bit
place a
closer
portal
to
on
me.
a grate.
I'd have thought
Yeah, I
maybe
should
that's
clarify
about
to Burger 40, it was not faster at all. There's so much you have to do because you cannot change your vertical axis while flying unless you use like external factors, like you slope off of something on the ceiling or you jump or hit some sort of ramp. So a lot of the routing just involves like how to get around that. And for most of the maps that we use it for in full game and speedrun mod, it's more of just like a massive consistency boost and less of this is the fastest way to complete the map. It's like the laser catapult and laser platform specifically. It's like honestly a lot slower, especially in speedrun mod. There's no time save associated with getting crouch fly for these maps. For full game, it's a little different because you have to skip the funnel at the end of laser platform.
One or two more tremors in there, just for. All right, still nothing. Let's keep moving.
Yes,
Sorry
the
about
funnel
delay.
in this chamber and in Final 1 and Final 3 in the base game are the exact same speed as all the other funnels. That means they go like half a mile an hour. It's really annoying. But in these, they're just massively sped up, so you just go in them because it's fast.
Just getting a test ready.
It's so
for
great to see
you.
Let Us
Obviously,
Stray
who knows
using
what I'm doing it
Dylan's
for?
setup
No one?
here.
Yeah, nice.
Such a
Uh,
good
thi-
setup. Well, he missed the portal,
Obviously,
but
who else would I be
that's
doing
on
it
him,
for?
not
No
on
one?
Dylan's
Yeah, just,
setup.
getting a test ready
course it is.
for you, obviously. Who else
Actually,
would I
he
be doing it
doesn't use Dylan's setup, and that's why he came out of that portal
for? Obviously,
crooked.
who else would I be doing it for? No one?
Do better, Let Us Stray. Do better.
Wait, isn't his PB better than yours? Anyway,
Oh yeah, for sure.
there we go. Actually, something I forgot to mention just about that trick, and I think one other in Crazy Box, if you do a different route, is portal funneling. That is by default turned on, but we have but we've allowed a command to turn that on and off whenever you want to. That is, if you have portal funneling on, then the game, when falling into a portal, kind of shoves you into it so that you don't have to be all that precise about it. And as well as coming out of a portal, you come out in a dead straight line. Sometimes helpful, sometimes not. So
I'll bet you're both
you can turn it on and off whenever you want to.
what your big surprise is.
Let us train now in chapter
only
9.
2 more
Usually in the full game we would keep crouch fly
Surprise!
here,
We're doing it now.
because the skip of this funnel is, as I just said, the funnel here would be the same speed as the other funnels in the rest of the game. So very slow.
No, don't do that. Don't stand right. Hello, where'd you go? Come
And
no,
this is the
seriously,
part where
do
he
come
kills
back,
us.
Please, come back, please. Okay, look, I've decided I'm not gonna kill you. Okay? Oh, just thinking back to the old times, the old days when we were friends, good old friends. Not enemy. Can't help but notice.
Wondering how far
you're not
behind
coming back.
his PB Let Us Stray is right now.
Yeah.
I should have looked that up before streaming.
It's
I
probably like, he's probably like 30 seconds behind it, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I should look this up.
Because he's in the green right now, or his version of the green. We'll have to see at what point it switches over to being in the red, or in the slightly darker blue.
It's blue and purple for him, I believe.
They're all full houses. Never
Um,
actually played cards, meaning to learn.
Let us read
Anyway,
not clearing the
new
turrets
not
and
defective. Ace of fours.
actually
Smart.
not
Best
using.
hand. Unbeatable. I would
Yeah. Oh yeah, he
What-
just went red at like 07 or something. Oh, he goes for fast. Oh, he's good.
This one. Now that trick is slightly faster than a
He's
second
10
version,
seconds
although-
behind.
Okay. That trick that Let Us Stray just did, is you can do another version where you go underneath the stairs and jump at a few lamps and then go back up to that catwalk. That is a tiny bit slower in the
Like 3
full
or
game.
4 seconds, I think.
Yeah, but it is definitely safer because you don't
yeah.
get shot.
Okay, I'll take that
Yeah,
as a no
most
then.
people don't do it in full game because in full game you can crouch, which makes it so that you don't hit. Oh, that was close. Which makes it so that you don't hit the catwalk when you're strafing around. But you can't crouch because you're not preserving crouch fly in Finale 2. You have it like raw, raw crouch fly, which means if you crouch while you have it, you lose it. Whereas if you have preserved crouch fly, crouching doesn't lose it, and the only thing that can lose it is hitting a funnel. So.
And
I
Astray
think he
now
can
in
PV here.
Final 4. In the base game, there is a cutscene, I think of about 20 to 30 seconds or so, of Wheatley just
It's like a
bragging to you. Really a minute, man.
I will check real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's like a minute.
Yeah,
It feels like an hour and a half.
definitely. And let us start actually going for a bomb preserve. That is, as the name suggests, you preserve, I think it's 2 bombs, or it looks like 1 here. And that is to speed up these cycles where you shoot Wheatley with his own bombs.
Quick, what's the situation?
That is more useful. That is more useful in the base game because of course it is longer times between each cycle. But in the mod, it's still definitely useful.
It's almost exactly a minute. It's like 57 seconds.
Warning.
I was way
Core
off.
corruption at 100%.
Oh, Alice.
Have been a thorn in my side.
I hate to see it happen.
Stalemate resolution associated.
Let Us Stray
Please press the
is
stalemate resolution button.
Going for mid-shot.
done.
Boom.
One-
30 to 114.
How close was I on? Speed2SM.
According to Bottleless Melon in the chat, Let Us Stray's PB is 30 minutes 20 seconds. So he is just under a minute.
How was it a minute? Wait. Did I just completely misread his splits, or did he lose a ton of time at the end?
Think that was on you, man.
I'm not colorblind, but at this point, who knows? I might be.
Hate to see it happen.
I could have sworn like there was a 10-second gap between when his splits went red in Finale 3 and when they went oh yeah, like when they went red to the end of the map, there was a 10-second gap, but no idea where I went wrong there.
Well, Hazza says that Astray might be using different splits for the tournament as opposed
Oh,
to
that's
the regular
fair.
playthrough.
I wouldn't know because I forgot what his alt Twitch account is. Most of the top runners have alt Twitch accounts so that their followers don't actually go watch their streams when they're doing races. Pretty smart, but inconveniences me because I can't go look at their splits. So I think we're just waiting on Alice to finish.
So Alice entering Final 4, so he'd be done in about 3 minutes, more or less. So he would end, I'd assume, with about 35. Really hoping for a 34, just for his sake.
It's probably like 2 minutes. So he's probably, yeah, it's probably like a 34.
Yeah.
I'm comparing against latest. Interesting.
That's certainly
But that
possible.
just means that I'm not wrong about trying to read your splits, and I'm not colorblind, unlike some people in this community. As I think. The weirdest shade to throw of all time.
Why?
Finale 4 is like 120. Did Alice
Oh,
miss
yeah.
the... Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, 120. Sorry, I don't play this mods as much as I really should. I've been playing a lot of other mods, actually base game as well, CM. So I haven't been playing this mod as much as I should, even though I'm
Alice's
commentating on the tournament.
bomb placements here are very weird.
Well, they work. So
They
what can you say?
work, but they make me uncomfortable.
Well,
Don't
that's
look
your
down.
fault.
Don't look down. Okay, there you go. Portal funneling works off of like looks for some reason. Like if you're looking at a portal, you'll get funneled into it. So get a portal like directly under where you're strafing. I was like, if you look down there, then oh, oh, you hate to see that. Oh, Alice, Alice, no.
No, missing that.
He did 34, so. Oh my goodness. This
Oh,
finale
hate to
4
see it
is
happen.
something else, man.
What a run!
I mean,
man,
it's not
what
like
a
it
run.
matters at this point, but
Nah, it's race 1.
it's pretty funny.
And he sent a message in Discord saying he's done, but on the stream I'll just wait a bit.
There it is. 34-17.
And getting moonshot for 34-17.
So I'm guessing they're gonna run it back.
We both sent the same message. It's really hot where I am for some reason. No, not hot, it's humid.
It's hot and humid here in Texas. It's like, what's the temperature right now?
I think it's 25 here now. 26.
Let me
So I don't know.
convert.
Oh yeah, using freedom units. So I'd
It
assume
is 34 here.
Oh my, that is a hot. That's more than here.
Yeah.
It's 27 degrees Celsius here, which is I'm gonna say that's 70. Rough guess.
80.
I was far off. So yeah, it's quite hot and humid here. Oops.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Oh no. Alice is apparently deciding to just forfeit. Or at least not do the other 2 runs.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
no.
is a shame because, if there's a very few runners who can catch Led Astray if he messes up, and Alice is one of those runners who can catch Led Astray if he messes up. Tough thing about that, though, Led Astray doesn't like to mess up a whole lot. Even on that most recent race, being like almost a minute behind his PB is still ahead of Alice's PB, so I can understand the desire not to go through with it, but it certainly is unfortunate because he definitely does have upset potential here. The entirety of the match setup chat is just trying to flame him and make him do another run.
Oh no.
Alright, he's sticking to his guns. It looks
Yeah.
like it's going to be it for the broadcast. Started late, ended early.
Hate to see it happen.
So I will declare both of them done.
I will declare both of them winners. If that's even allowed, which it probably isn't.
Sure isn't. Also, I love the fact that my next door neighbor is running a weed eater. I don't know if anybody can hear that, but it's very loud.
Ooh.
Right outside my window.
Well, I live quite close to a church, so at yeah, 9 o'clock here. So the church bells just went off a few minutes ago. That's why I had my window closed for this entire run because they're really loud.
I wonder if they are getting.
Oh man.
You guys get interview links.
Oh yeah, Daniel just sent out a link to this Discord channel for I think both. Oh, I'm
Alright,
sorry.
well, I'm just gonna copy and paste the stream invite then.
Yeah, sure. So we might actually get both runners into this Discord chat just to talk about the run they had. Definitely worth listening to for such high-level runners.
Alright, hopefully they should be joining. Oh, there he is. What's up, Buster?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
So, a bit of a short race. How you feel about your performance today?
I mean, not bad, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice to have the comfort blanket that even if you play a minute behind your personal best, you're still, like, in a really safe position, so... It's a good place to be. And you currently have rank 2 in Speedrun Mod.
Yeah.
Which, again, makes it seem likely that the finals of this tournament could be let a stray can't even.
Hello.
Yeah, unless M Sushi, like, bops me.
You never know.
Or bets runner.
Well, there's a lower chance of that one.
Yeah, well, it's bet, so what do you expect from him? Why am I throwing shade at him? I haven't even got my phone on the board. Anyway.
How you doing,
So,
Alice?
how's it going?
How's your morning?
I woke up, went straight to my chair,
Yep.
to my desktop.
A true gamer.
He was
And-
born into the game.
yeah. I haven't touched Speedrun in forever, man.
Yeah.
Like after last race, I just didn't.
I think that's how a lot of people have been. I think the only like high-level people left in this tournament who have still been playing it is like Led Astray and Can't Even occasionally.
Mm,
Like I don't think Betts has touched it in forever. I don't think Melon's touched it in forever. Like Sushi certainly hasn't touched it in forever because he's been grinding for 38 or 58. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah.
He was on PB pace during his race. No.
He was.
Sushi was?
Yeah,
Yeah, Sushi
like
was
minus 18.
PB pace by ridiculous amounts. He lost it in chapter 9. I can't remember exactly where.
That's
He got
tragic.
PB. Yeah. hate to see
Losing
that.
time in chapter 9 on a PB pace run is no bueno. Alright, well, anything else anybody has to say? Anybody wants to talk about?
Nope.
Alright, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll have more races soon. We'll host something else. Go watch some other speed gaming. See you guys later.